Hey guys, today we're going to use the quadratic formula. We're going to use that to figure out the roots of these equations that I'm going to give you. And let's get started. My future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Number one. First, we have to rewrite this in standard form. So we move the x squared all the way to the left by subtracting x squared from both sides, and move the constant -6 to the left side by adding 6 to both sides. Next, we want to make the a positive. We don't want negative x squared, we want x squared. So we change all the signs by multiplying by -1. Next, we need to identify a, b, and c. A is 1, b is -4, c is -6. Next, we place these into our formula. A is 1, b is -4, c is -6. And I, as you know, like to put parentheses where the variables are and fill them in so that I do a better job and more easily recognize the signs. So the opposite of -4 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Then we have -4 times -6 is 24, positive. And 2 times 1 is 2. 16 and 24 added together is 40. So I end up with 4 plus or minus the square root of 40 over 2. What is the highest perfect square that is a factor of 40? Well, it's 4. 4 times 10. So the square root of 4 is 2. So now I end up with 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 10 over 2. Okay, when I simplify. Next, I divide the 2 into the 4, 2 into the 2. 2 into the 4 is 2. 2 into the 2 is 1, square root of 10.
Right, so here A equals 4, B equals 3, and C, now it's tempting to say that C equals 10, but that's wrong. Because remember, it's plus C, and so we have to write the invisible plus sign here and see plus -10. So in fact, C is -10. The negative signs go into the constants. So now, armed with that, we can now just apply the quadratic formula and see that x equals -b, which is -3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so I square this and get 9, minus 4 times ac. So 4 times a is going to be 16, times -10 is going to be -160. And so what I have here is a -160, which makes that negative a positive 160. All divided by 2 times a.
He wrote it wrong.
A here is 4, and so I have that all over 8.
160, he said.
All right, so let's see if we can simplify this. This equals -3 plus or minus the square root. Oops, wait, I think I made a typo here. Yeah, 160. I said 160. I actually jumped the gun because look, 160 plus 9 is 169. So I jumped the gun. There, that's okay. Forgive me. The square root of 169, I happen to know, is actually 13. So this actually equals -3 plus or minus 13, all divided by 8. So there's 2 solutions here, and I want you to see both solutions. One solution is when I take the plus, and one solution is when I take the minus. So if I take the plus, I see -3 plus 13 that's going to be a 10 on top over 8, so it's going to be 10/8, and 10/8 is actually 5/4, so that's one solution. And then the other solution is when I take the negative sign, so I see -3 minus 13, which is going to be -16/8, which is -2. And so I see there are two solutions for x, either 5/4 or -2. Those are the two answers using the quadratic formula. Let's try one more example together. X. The first thing I realize is it's not written in this sort of standard form. I want to have all the terms over equal 0 in order for me to apply the quadratic formula. So if I do that, I could bring the 15 to the other side by subtracting 15 from both sides, and I see x squared minus 2x minus 15, and now that equals 0. Now, let's solve this. So here I see x equals, using the quadratic formula, -b. So now here, b, notice, is -2. So -2 is 2, plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's -2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times ac. So 4 times ac is going to be 4 times 1 times -15, and so what we get is positive 60. All over 2a, and a here is an invisible 1, so I write this as 2. Now if I simplify this, what do I see? Well, I see 2 plus or minus the square root of 64 all over 2. The square root of 64 is 8, so this is going to be 2 plus or minus 8 all over 2. There's two answers here. Let's see if we can see them. So x equals, well, either 2 plus 8, which is going to be 10 over 2, which is 5. Or the other possibility is 2 minus 8, which is going to be -6 over 2 is going to be -3. So here I see two answers, x equals 5 or x equals -3. Both will be the solutions to this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula.
Wilt Chamberlain once scored 100 points in a 76er game. All right, guys, I hope you got the lesson taken care of via the video. I'm going to put a few problems onto Google Forms for you now, and I want you to show the steps. So you're going to need to show the steps as well, all right? Have a great day. See you tomorrow.